brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond. When the Garland Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our Grand Company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilfer's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea. It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadion all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the reckless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore, seeking blood for their accursed god. While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the Curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded, yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire boat, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened, to expire it on Maelstrom and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark you well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. This but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves till sea swallows all. I gotta tell you guys, if you're watching this live, or you're watching this on a recording later, that was probably the best moment I've had in this game so far. The gameplay I actually like also, but doing doing speeches like that. I think that's one of my strongest points, because I like doing leadership in video games, and when I have the chance to do something like that, I try my best to do those dialogue justice. So hopefully you guys like that. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelve's Wood, fearful of the green rat. They hid themselves in the dark recess of the earth, yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hure and the Elzen settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today. In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Grenadians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelve's Wood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cardino. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Grenadian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not only the tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irreparably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Exile have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They taste our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us. On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory. The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Erzian and Garlean alike. Yet, while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelves Wood. Let none be mistaken, the Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet, harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored, not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the twin adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs, for serenity, purity, and sanctity. Hark, you souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the old dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold, whereby the grace and glory of Naldatal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered, I speak of Ul'dah. Great and many are the gifts of our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Carno, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low. Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Dal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into the 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden, and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You call this living? Dishonor the name of the immortal flames? It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders, and despoil our land of its natural wealth. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. in the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Your Grace.
Rauban. People of Ul'dah, I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Orzia to see. For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are by fire reborn.
So far, that was my favorite thing to read. That was my favorite thing so far to read. It was well done.